To the next episode of The World is Burning. Shout out to all the subscribers. I think we're on 60 now, which is wild. Thanks for that. Today we're looking at terrible financial decisions. We're going to see what some people have done, terrible financial decisions. We're going to learn from their mistakes, and we're not going to do these things. We'll start out with Caleb Hammer.
What's your 401k balance, just while we're on that, because I don't have the document?
So it's like 5,000.
Okay, and is that your only retirement account? Because I don't have any others.
Yeah.
Okay, so your previous job, you rolled over into this, or you didn't have things?
So I have taken out my 401k.
What?
Just going to pause this here. I share in his disappointment. You can't be pulling out of your pensions or your 401ks or your retirement accounts. You've got to be maxing them out at a young age. Your compound growth in your 20s is the best growth you're ever going to get. And if you pull out from these accounts, you get these ridiculous penalties. I think it's 25% in America. It's about 25% in the UK as well. So you really want to stay away from doing that.
Multiple times.
Multiple times? Why? Why possibly?
Because, I don't know. People have told me, you can just take it out. So.
No.
Well, yes, of course you can.
You can take out terrible ideas.
With penalties and taxes,
Yep.
But yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do. You can go murder someone right now. There'll still be consequences.
Yeah, I regret it now, but.
Would you do this multiple times?
2020 and 2019. I think it was 2.
So she's just using this as a savings account or a spare money account. It is not that. You really should not be doing that, though. I hate this comment. Why do we all assume that we are going to live long enough to make it to retirement age, though? Terrible, terrible thought pattern there. You need to assume you're going to live to retirement because you don't be working until you die, and that's what a lot of people are going to be doing. If you don't own a house and you're renting, it's even harder.
2 years back to back, I did it.
That's insane. What did you take it out for? Back-to-back years. What even contribute?
I did use some of it when I purchased a house.
Okay, so you used that towards the down payment on a first home?
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. So you were able to use that penalty free.
Well, I didn't know what I was doing, so I think it was.
Yeah, especially if you're going to be doing these things, guys, check into it, read into it. This girl's obviously a little bit clueless financial wise. She's taken a tax hit on her retirement so she can get a deposit for her house. Baffling.
Well, I know you can take out of IRAs. 401k should be the same. I just want to extra confirm. Okay, so this was just my ignorance on this. No, you still likely succumb to a penalty.
Yeah, even for a deposit, you're going to be hitting a
There was
penalty.
still a penalty with that, so.
Why? Because what you did essentially with the penalty, you paid a 10% interest rate at minimum.
Yeah.
Yep.
On the money to put it out. Did you know you wanted to get a house?
Yeah.
Then why the was it in a 401k?
I don't know.
Terrible
to be
financial,
very clear, with the money that's
layout.
left in there, which I don't even know if it's going to stay in there because you've withdrawn twice, but either way, the money that's in there, you're desperately behind on retirement
Yeah.
for the second half of your 20s. And you've lost and ruined because of what you decided to do. You've lost the best decade of your life for compound
Yep, that's
growth.
gone. That's what I was
It's
saying.
beyond disappointing. Tell me about this house. What was the purchase price?
130.
130 was the house. In Nashville?
No, I moved 45 minutes outside.
Oh, even still, 45 minutes outside of Austin, you couldn't find anything even close to that. So that's actually incredible. 140?
130.
130. Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that. Well, how much did you put down?
3%.
3%? Oh.
Yeah, she's put 3% down as well. So she's taken a 25% hit on pulling out of her IRA. And then she's put 3% down, so she's going to have to pay that extra insurance on top. So she's gone about this the most expensive way possible. Not great financial move here. On to the next one.
Dogecoin Millionaire. We did a 1-hour podcast, and the second half of that podcast was just trying to convince him to sell. This is someone who's making 50 grand a year, and he sold everything he had, maxed out his credit cards, and put 150 or 200 grand in Dogecoin. And at the peak, it was worth $3 million.
Yeah.
And we broke it down. I'm like, dude, you will never have to work a day in your life after tax. Invest it in here. You can pull 3% of it out every single year. That's your salary. You've made your salary for life. If you just sell right now, why take the risk? And so, he didn't sell.
Yeah, of course it didn't sell. Yeah, this is a guy lucky enough to catch a pump. I've got a little bit of money in crypto. I'm not the biggest crypto guy. Just the main ones I go in. Any of these terrible coins, shit coins, I stay away from. Dogecoin, yeah, he hit the pump and then he's subsequently found himself in the drop now. So yeah, terrible move. He should have at least sold a bit of it to recoup some actual fiat currency.
What's the worst financial decision you see 20, 30-year-olds make?
Not setting up a Roth IRA, you could be a millionaire from this. And
wanna
it's
explain
incredibly
what that is?
easy. It's a retirement account. And by the time you're 65, all that profit you make within the account is tax-free. But the goal is that when you're young and doing that, you have 40 years of compound interest, where all of a sudden that $800 you invest could be worth $8,000, and it's tax-free. And the limit is $6,500 a year. And there are ways to get more than that, or if you're above the income limit. But for most people, it takes 10 minutes to set up an account. Dogecoin millionaire.
Yeah, guys, make sure you're looking into Roth IRAs. If you're in America, 401ks over here, look at private pension accounts, look at ETF accounts, and really start looking into your money. And don't be like this guy catching a pump and thinking it's going to go even higher. Sell out if you're miles ahead. Keep some of it in, by all means, but actually realize some of those gains and get some physical fiat currency out.
New sport. I actually got you approved of that 2009 F-250 out there. Only $11.99 a month. What do you say, man?
I don't know. I was kind of planning on moving out soon. What do you think I should do?
I mean, move out, buy a truck. I mean, look, I'm a car salesman, man, but let me give you my honest opinion off the record. How you gonna move your stuff if you don't have a truck, dude?
You're so right.
you gotta get the truck before you can move,
Okay,
right?
okay, I gotcha.
Exactly. You got any questions for me, though, before we wrap this up?
Yeah, this is obviously a joke, guys, but people sign up to stuff like this all the time. They're not paying attention to any of the details. Everything on this paper is the worst it could possibly be. An old car, loads of miles on it. It's going to have issues coming straight away. 5K down, not a massive amount down. 48 months you'll be paying this at 28 interest, 1,200 a month. It's obviously a joke, but people sign up to this stuff all the time. And these dealers act like this. They don't give you all the information. They're trying to just get a quick sale.
I mean, the $11.99 a month, that's no problem. I make $3,000 a month, so like
You make oh, dude, you're good.
that's less than half. Like I'm
Not even half, dude.
Yeah, and
You're perfect.
I don't have the full 5K to put down. You guys take credit card?
Dude, we can put the whole thing on a credit card.
5K. Oh,
Yeah, once again, guys, going to pause this here. Don't ever finance the down payment, ever. Don't ever finance the down payment, ever. If you can't afford the down payment, you can't afford the thing, whatever it is, get out of there quick.
go! I'm gonna be perfect then.
Oh,
Now,
man. We're gonna take care of you.
last question: does this include a warranty?
So I know we went over that, but the bank's not going to finance the warranty. But honestly, with only a little over 200,000 miles and you're only financing for 84 months, you don't even need a warranty because this thing's not going to give you any trouble. And then it'll be paid off, and you'll be coming back to me for another one. So I won't even worry about that, dude. You'll be golden. Trust me.
I mean, it does only have 200,000 miles. I should be fine.
That's nothing
right?
for an F-250, bro.
Cool.
All right. So if you don't have any more questions for me, just sign there. We'll get it wrapped up today.
Let's do this.
Sorry.
Yeah, you sign and then you've signed your life away and you've given yourself 48 months of hell on there. Oh, we can't do another one of these guys in a row.
Talk about a financial decision I made that I don't think was very smart. And I'm so sad to say this, but it's my car. And I love her. She's beautiful. I'll include a clip here. But she is expensive.
Yep.
And I don't even have a luxury car. It's been about 1 year with this car, and so safe to say I've learned some lessons. I definitely think it's necessary for people who live at home to have their own car or have access to a car, but I got mine in such a rush. I made the decision in 4
Yeah, and never rush, guys. I know sometimes like I'm without a car right now. It's a pain in the ass. I'm not rushing into anything. I'm biding my time. I'm dealing with public transport. I'm dealing with the nonsense. But I'm not rushing into anything because when you're in a rush, you're gonna make one of these mistakes. This poor girl's got herself caught up in one of these car deals. I mean, it was a nice Honda, but if it's that expensive, it's not that nice of a car.
without really thinking about it. So I have bi-weekly payments coming out on my car, and
Terrible.
the way I understood that payment initially was I'm able to save that amount every other week, so why not just redirect it towards my car payment? I didn't really understand how much more effort it would take for me to maintain my savings amount while also paying this car. Safe to say, I hate my payment, I hate it every time, and it doesn't stop. Leasing a car is also quite stressful because of how much I drive. I drive a lot, and there's a mileage limit on my car, and I'm already well over where I'm supposed to be for this time frame.
Yeah, my actual job is I'm a sales guy. So I was looking at lease options, but as soon as you start putting 15,000, 20,000 miles a year on it, it's expensive as hell. So really, when you sign up to something, look at the mileage that you get with it as well.
I also got rear-ended and it was such minimal scratches, but I had to get it fixed because it's a I could go back, I definitely would tell myself to just buy a used car. I know my car is new, it's a 2022 model, and I definitely wouldn't get something like that if I had bought a used car. And the main reason I didn't want to do this is because, one, the car market was tough. But two, I just didn't want to see my portfolio go down in value. Obviously, buying a used car means you have to put a larger sum of money at once. I did not underestimate the hassle of these damn payments. So if you are young and are looking for a car, highly, highly, highly recommend looking into the used car market. Realistically, we don't.
Yeah, guys, that's what I'll be doing. I'll be looking into the used car market. I'm going to go in back end of January time, I think. I'm going to bide my time. Hopefully there'll be some deals out there. But at least you own the car. Like, anything that happens with a lease, that's on you. A lease might work for you, but crunch the numbers and make sure it does.
What a terrible financial decision. So I just want to point out that after I made that video, that guy deleted his whole account. What a fucking grade A quitter right here, dude. Also, look how many times this kid has commented on people's thing. Commented on another video of mine. Bro just lives in the world of negative. I don't understand how you can be such a negative person, but I'm glad that my roast was the one that finally did him in and he decided to quit. Probably.
Well, that has absolutely nothing to do with a bad financial decision, but yeah, negativity is just nonsense. Stay away from it, people. Positive energies only.
Bro. Do not make the #1 worst financial decision if you're 18 to 30 years old. Oh, that's me, so what is it? Not setting up a Roth IRA. What's so good about a Roth IRA? Roth IRA is a retirement account that grows tax-free. In other words, any profit you make, you get to keep. In my opinion,
Listen, guys, I haven't seen any of these videos before, but a Roth IRA, especially if you get like an employer contribution, is free money, guys. Look into it, get it set up. And if you're in the 20s, 30s, they are the best compound year growth years of your life. Take advantage of it and really look into it. Do some digging on your own. But if you don't have one, set something up.
A year ago, I made the worst financial decision of my life that will cost me $4 million. I bought a $4 million condo in New York, which was my biggest dream ever. So I was saving up for a month and I made a down payment for this gorgeous apartment for $1 million. And I started to pay my mortgage monthly for a little bit over $17K. In 17 months of paying for my mortgage, I paid $275K. And honestly, these monthly payments are not a big deal and doesn't feel like a lot of money. But over the years, if you calculate it with the lowest mortgage rate possible, I'm paying a bank $1.5 million. So I started to feel that mortgage gives me anxiety. This biggest ever dream I had about owning my own place in New York, instead of bringing me happiness, started to make me feel bad. So I made 4 important decisions on how I'm going to fix it. 1, I want to pay off my mortgage. Second part of my plan, I'm going to rent out this apartment in New York I already own because I don't need that much space. I'm never in New York as well. And I will buy myself a smaller condo in New York. I'm going to buy an apartment in Paris and in Milan for under $1 million.
Yeah, I haven't seen these before, guys. Rich people problems here. But the interest you pay on a $4 million condo, that's going to be through the roof. So she's not wrong about that. Yeah, you can make money in retail, real estate as well. So yeah, renting it out's not the biggest deal. I just want to know how she's making this money. If she could go into that a bit more detail, that'd be nice. Rich people problems, eh?
What a terrible financial decision. Makes me sad to see you make such a bad decision. Well, honestly, when this little Mexican woke up this morning, he was honestly like, I hope Justin 1985-2022 is going to approve of my purchase. And I know that we were just talking about how important it is to get your validation for his money. Fortunately.
Yeah, no idea about that one,
What's
guys.
the worst financial decision you've seen someone make? A guy in my fraternity got $30K for an undisclosed reason. I'm guessing a family death or something, and he bet it all on the Yankees winning one game. They lost. My friend bought a used Hellcat Challenge.
Yeah, guys, I don't mind gambling on the fights, putting some money down on fights, boxing, UFC, things like that. But it's always money that I'm willing to lose. If it's money that I'm willing to lose, you know, small money, it's not the end of the world. If you win, it makes things a bit more exciting. But you really want to stay away from the gambling, especially if you're not flush with cash.
Yesterday at 10.5% APR and $380
Death
per month insurance. He lives in my other friend's spare room. My coworker has $25K in anime figurines. He is in mega debt right now. I knew someone who got a loan for their...
Guys, I know collecting figurines is fun and stuff, but don't be doing that on credit. Don't be doing that when you're in debt. There's bigger fish to fry.
But decided to blow it all at a casino. Now they have a loan for 20K to pay off and nothing to show for it. A dude who owned a small convenience store in our town spent like $20,000 on fidget spinners. He was posting for like a year begging people to buy them as he would lose his business and his marriage was falling apart due to it. My friend put everything in his girlfriend's name to hide assets as he owed the IRS. The girlfriend sold his business.
Don't ever mess with the tax man or the IRS people. Don't ever mess with them.
Cashed out his accounts and ran. My supervisor took out a loan against their 401k to pay their rent because their credit cards were maxed. 2 weeks later, they bought a brand new $60,000 Lincoln with basically nothing down because her daughter just had a baby and they needed a bigger car for that. My friend applied for a $5,000 loan. It didn't get accepted quick enough, so they applied for another $5,000 loan. Both got accepted and they ended up gambling it all.
Yeah, they're just all idiots. Every single one of those stories. Some quick fire ones there.
Paying off your house is one of the worst financial decisions you could ever make. There are 3 main reasons why it's beneficial to keep a mortgage on your properties for as long as possible. Alright, so take a look at this. Your rental property is worth $500,000 and you've been told all your life that debt is bad, so you're making extra payments to your house every single month. Now there's this false belief that if you pay off your mortgage early, that you're magically going to become financially free. Now the first thing is consider the opportunity cost. Now the beauty of real estate is you can use leverage to buy properties, so you only need to bring...
Gonna stop this here. Yes, you can make money. If you read Rich Dad Poor Dad, there's lots of money to go in debt, get loans, and then you can cash flow things. I don't know when this was made, but yeah, with the interest rates going up, I like having my things paid off. I don't like owing anyone anything, and then the actual cash flow, if you do want to rent some things, is better in the long run. So yeah, I'm not the biggest fan. The cheap debt era is over. The cheap debt era is over. So yeah, I'd like to see this guy talking now.
Fraction of the money and the banks are going to lend you the rest. So the extra cash that you're putting into your property, you can use that to go and purchase another property that gives you a higher return. Because remember, your return on equity is 0. Now the second thing is real estate gives you a bunch of tax advantages. Mortgage interest is tax deductible. You can also use bonus depreciation to write off even more from your taxes. So number 3 is not talked about enough, but if you have a mortgage on your property, you're going to be way less likely to get a lawsuit because the amount that can be claimed is usually only up to the amount of equity that you have in your property. Instead of keeping your money trapped in your properties, you want to harvest the equity and go and purchase more cash flow producing assets. Give me a follow if you want.
Once again, yeah, as long as you're not getting these these mortgages with high interest rates, this is a pretty good plan. But yeah, we're going to start seeing a lot of these guys fall off, I think, in 2024, 2025 when they have to remortgage some of these properties and they start taking a hit on that cash flow.
What's the worst financial decision you've ever made? Because some people would say that mine is investing money into an apartment that I don't own, but actually the worst financial decision I ever made was taking all of the Bitcoin that I had in Robinhood, selling it, and then rebuying it in Celsius a few years ago, because Celsius, if you stored your Bitcoin on their app, they would pay you interest weekly because they were...
Yeah, I always stayed away from these interest crypto exchange things. It always seems shady on me when someone can offer 5-10% returns back in the day when credit was cheap. It just seemed too good to be true, and a lot of these things fell apart and a lot of people lost their money. So yeah, terrible decision there.
Your Bitcoin and lend it out to people and pay you interest on top of that, split their earnings with you. So at one point I was making $700 a week just by having my Bitcoin in there. And I continued to buy.
See that there? It said not actually cashed any of it out. So it's almost just fake digits and a number, and then she lost everything, I assume.
Because Bitcoin is going up and I was so excited and I was making all this money off it and I was like, this is so great, I'm gonna have so much money. But you know what they say? Not your keys, not your Bitcoin. If you store your crypto on a third-party app, it doesn't actually fully belong to you. Things can happen. Things can happen, and I knew that things could happen. So anyway, Celsius filed for bankruptcy. They've paused transfers for most people indefinitely. I cannot get my money out. I have more than a full Bitcoin in there. I was so proud of myself when I worked my way up to a full Bitcoin. It took me a few years, but I got there, and now that money isn't mine anymore, and you just have to laugh. This is why. Never invest more money than you can stand to lose. I mean, that's a...
Yeah, that's it, guys. Never invest more money than you can stand to lose. You've got to have the money to live on. You've got to have your savings, your emergency fund. And then everything else, I like to divest it in, safe return things, nothing too crazy. A little bit of Bitcoin, but don't be putting all your money in Bitcoin.
All right, I want you to stitch this with the worst financial decision that you...
Just to go back on that, don't put all your money on Bitcoin on one of these dodgy exchanges. Buy a bit of Bitcoin if you want.
In your life. For me, it's easy. I poured $255,000 into my 401k account over 17 years at my corporate sales job because it was matched and pre-taxed. What a bunch of nonsense. When I could have easily taken that money and purchased $1.25 million worth of real estate. That's 20% down payments, 10 properties, grossing $12,500 per month.
Yeah, and here's the thing, guys. Yeah, I know it says here all these people get pulled into these big numbers, but he's not accounting if anything goes wrong in these 10 properties. If he has any disasters, if he has to do any repair work, maintenance work, if the people don't pay him this money per month and he has some bad renters. So the real estate thing, it is a dream and it can work, but there's also the negatives as well.
That portfolio now would probably be worth $2.5 million. Who knows? Maybe even more. I'd have a ton of equity in the properties because the loans would have been paid down massively by tenants. I'd have a bunch of tax benefits. That is a sweet retirement.
Yeah, it's another way of doing it, guys. But yeah, do some research on yourself. Yeah, maybe not the worst mistake he ever made if he still got his IRA.
What screams I make terror?
This will be the last one, guys, and we'll shoot off. But leave me a comment. I want to know, what's your worst financial decision? Was it a car you purchased? Did you purchase a house at the wrong time? Yeah, tell me what your worst financial decision was in the comments. I'd love to hear it.
Financial decisions. My ex-sister-in-law went to Walmart and bought a shitload of nail clippers, files, polish, and anything to do fingernails with. I asked her what the hell she planned on doing with all that. She told me she was going to start a flea market. I know someone who is always struggling with money. Then I found out he has individual cups of Dunkin' Donuts coffee delivered to him via a delivery app.
Yeah, that's the dumbest way of purchasing things, especially if you're just getting one coffee. If you're broke, you can't be doing the Deliveroo and the Uber Eats.
Of course, while he's working at home. You know, instead of making a pot of coffee for yourself. I quit drinking but took up a Lego addiction. It was cheaper being drunk. Buying a $3,000 engagement ring with a credit card and having to open 2 other cards for balance transfers to pay it off while making $7 an hour.
Terrible idea.
The kicker was we broke up 6 months later and I let her keep it, at least initially. My 20 a blast.
Yeah, guys, some terrible financial decisions there. Hopefully we don't make the same. Leave me a comment. I want to know your worst financial decision, and we'll have plenty more videos to come, and drop us a subscription if you like this. See you later, guys. Bye.